plan to try to use campaign funds or PAC money to try to pay some of the penalties in the New York defamation and fraud cases?
I don't understand what.
Are you thinking of potentially trying to use campaign money to pay some of those penalties that you might incur?
What penalties?
Well, where do we even begin?
In the New York fraud case, the defamation case.
I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, that's been proven as far as I'm concerned. And actually, we won in the Court of Appeals. You probably saw that. That case has been largely won in the Court of Appeals. That was a political case coordinated with the White House by the Attorney General, I assume is what you're talking about. And we won that case largely in the Court of Appeals.
Carol, the defamation case, the original.
That's a ridiculous case.
Next, he'll say that it's all AI.
There was this moment about the hands. Remember the bloodied hands? Our reporter, Mark Meredith, asked him about them today.
Hey, how's your hands? It looks like it's better now.
My hand?
Yeah, remember what happened the other day?
What was wrong with it?
You didn't see the photos coming out of Trump Tower?
No.
There was, okay.
What was wrong with it?
The other one. Yeah. Okay. You don't want to tell us what happened with the hand?
Nothing. Maybe it's AI.
I'm being honest here. I don't know if this guy has actually lost his mind.
Somehow it all works out. Somehow people say, how do you do it, sir? How do you do it? I get two questions. If you had it to do again, would you do it? Because, you know, in history, they say the president that was treated the worst was Abraham Lincoln, but he had the Civil War, you know, so he had a little Civil War going. Abraham Lincoln. And Jackson was treated very badly, and a couple of others were treated. Andrew Jackson, he was treated very badly, and a few others. And I haven't seen the new list, but if I'm not number one over Abraham Lincoln, I will be very disappointed, because I don't believe any president's ever been. And they do that because their policies can't work.
So much to unpack here. First of all, he lost the case to E. Jean Carroll. Every time he loses a case, he says, I won, which begs the question of all of these Republicans that are saying, let the elections play out, let the people decide, let the voters decide. How do we let the voters decide when the other candidate will never admit a loss? This all started when he lost in 2020, would not admit that he lost. Courts said that he lost. His own people said that he lost. Everybody knew that he lost, and he still denies that he lost. He created election denialism, and now he's doing it with court denialism. The E. Jean Carroll case couldn't have been more clear. It wasn't some Democrat, it wasn't some Joe, it wasn't anybody that just decided to say he's guilty of sexually assaulting and raping E. Jean Carroll. The jury decided that it was legitimate, and they originally fined him a few $1 million, whatever, it was like $4 or $5 million. And he could have just paid it and been like, I don't agree with the verdict, but I'm going to just move on. But he couldn't help himself. He continued and started to defame E. Jean Carroll more and more in public. And that's where the defamation lawsuit came. And they fined him $83 million. And he's like, nah, it's all a hoax and it's all a witch hunt. No, it's not. You can't always be the victim of a witch hunt. You clearly were on your own stupid social media during the case. During the trial, the judge was like, just stop talking smack about E. Jean Carroll. He couldn't help himself. He kept posting about her. He kept defaming her during the trial. What do you think is going to happen? Just because you deny that you lost doesn't mean that you didn't lose. You lost, loser. You lost. And then he's got all these followers that go, well, if he says he didn't lose, then it's a witch hunt. No! There's no one in the history of the world that's ever been undefeated. This guy claims to be undefeated. At what point, I wonder, do we stop analyzing Donald Trump as a political specimen and start analyzing him as a mentally ill human being? I think he's lost his mind. I think he's lied so much that he's lost his mind. He mumbo-jumbos all the time. We've seen him mumbo-jumbo. And then he just, you know, we tell our kids, or our parents tell us, to don't lie, have integrity, be honest. And this guy is everything that's against it. And somehow the Christians, who are supposed to be the most honest because Jesus told them to be honest and love thy neighbor, they've somehow clinged on to this guy. And they have the most dishonest mumbo-jumbo dude ever. This guy is such a criminal. It's like if Charlie Manson were found guilty and he was like, what are you talking about? I wasn't found guilty. It was the deep state wanted to make me guilty. No, you clearly told those guys to go kill those people. No, I didn't. What are you talking about? No, they admitted. We saw it. We have your own words, Donald Trump. Your own words on your own social media defaming E. Jean Carroll. You owe her $83 million, you numbnut. What is wrong with you? And then it keeps going. Then he's over there saying that he's the most hated or persecuted president. He's more vilified and more hunted than Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was shot. He was killed. Abraham Lincoln was killed by someone who didn't agree with him. So there's no way in the world that you could compare yourself to Abraham Lincoln. And by the way, Abraham Lincoln was doing a good thing. You're doing a bad thing. Abraham Lincoln was helping democracy move forward by helping in the Civil War end slavery. You're the opposite. You're bringing back slavery. You're bringing back everything that's bad about humanity. You want to make America great again, which means let's make America racist again, which you've done. Let's make America sexist again, which you've done. Let's make America intolerant again, which you've done. Let's increase, now if you want to talk about Republican talking points, let's increase the national debt tremendously, which you did. Let's give tax breaks to the rich and not to those who need it to move up in the socioeconomic world, which you did. You were the worst president. Absolutely. But if you ask him, I was the best president. What are you talking about? You tried to end democracy. You're a loser. You lost. Admit it. Someone's got to get this guy into like deep, deep therapy or lock him up somewhere. And I hope when they lock him up that they get him to sit there and have some therapy. Like you can deprogram people. It takes years. But maybe they can deprogram him. Just once, I want him, as he's serving his time in prison, just once, I wish there were a camera and he goes, you know what? I lied all along. My parents lied to me. My father didn't love me. My mother didn't love me. And I just wanted the people's love. So I lied. I've been a liar my whole life. I failed up. And then I found a bunch of nincompoops who were willing to give me their money to pay for my court cases. And I just said, I never lose. I never lose. I'm undefeated, baby. What a loser. I'm comedian Maz Jobrani. Come watch me live on my tour. I'm all over the country. I'm going to be in New York. I'm going to be in Boston. I'm going to be in Phoenix. I'm going to be in San Diego. You name it, I'll be there. Go to mazjobrani.com. Come check me out. He's a loser.